we're going to do postures 0, 2, and 3. So 0 is just body upright. 2 is here with the knees bent. 3 is up here. And we're looking at this posture, how you get from 3 to 4. Okay, how you think it. So we've looked at how you get from 2 to 3, but this is now 3 to 4. So the method of thinking this. So just, we're going to whiz through 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so comfortable width. Going to ground, just do the whole process. So feel the weight in the middle of your feet. So you can feel the ball in front of the big toe, ball in front of the little toe, and the heel. Evenly distributed weight. Relax your knees. They're not bent. Just relax them. Be conscious of them. Drop your bottom on the floor. Drop your pelvis. Drop your bum. Shoulder blades, let go. The spine between the shoulder blades, towards the top of the shoulder blades, relax it there. Sometimes when you do that little extra relaxation, you feel a little opening of the chest. Okay, and then the back of your neck relaxed. Don't do anything with it, just be conscious of letting it go. Okay, so that's all we need to do for the first posture. There's much more, a lot more we could do, but let's move on. So from now, you're going to do a pelvic tilt without the knees bending. The hands are starting to move forwards. And now I'm doing a pelvic tilt which make my knees bend gradually. I'm lifting the hands quite close up, and then I'm extending outwards. I'm relaxing my back. I'm making sure my shoulders don't pull forwards. I'm approximately 1.5 feet, 2 foot from the body with my arms. Yeah, my fingers are open, my thumbs are open, but I'm not hyperextending anything. I'm trying to relax my pelvis as much as I can. Another thing we need to talk about at some point. And that's position 2, which we're not going to hold. To move to position 3, what you're going to do, I'm going to have to change position so you can see. I'm going to, and don't do this yet, just stay where you are for a second. I'm going to push the hands up to this height with the palms, roughly speaking, binoculars height. Yeah. And I'm going to, as I do it, I'm going to push, feel like my elbows are pushing away and up, but the movement is so tiny, you probably won't see the elbows actually literally doing that. If you over push the elbows, it strains your back forward. However, this bit on your back, the lower back here, you feel like you use that slightly backwards. You support the rising hands from down below. So here we are in position 2. Knees are bent very slightly, don't have to be masses. And now I push my elbows forward. And as I push the elbows very gently forward with hardly moving them, I'm using my lower back and I'm allowing it to open a bit more. That gives me a tiny bit more pelvic tilt. Hardly anything, but I've actually used my lower back to get my hands into this position. Okay, so we would normally hold this for a period of time, but we're not going to because we're now looking at how you get from 3 to 4. Now just stay there a second if you would. What I'm thinking when I'm in this position here is this elbow and this hip have a relationship, right? I need to connect the two. You could think to the knee, but I suggest you think here to the hip bone on the outside, so that when in a second I come to lower the arm, this action happens. It starts to settle downwards. Now, if I don't do that, just watch me a second while you're enjoying that position. As I push down, my elbow will end up sticking out backwards. Look, it's stuck backwards. And actually, I want that action to happen, but not left and right like that. That's too much. They're going to be forwards of me, but without the elbow stuck out. So you're here. You now imagine there's a string going from hip to elbows, both sides. Now someone's pulling the string and it literally draws your elbows down towards your hips, left and right. Yeah. Okay, so just come back up there again. Eye height, can be higher if you want, doesn't matter. From here, elbow to hip, strings, someone goes pull the string and down go the elbows. You're leading with those and you finish with the arms slightly ahead of you. Now then, the elbows will now be what you would call in. This is too much. Okay, I've overdone it. So now I'm almost trying to pull the elbows to the front of my body. So you don't want to, but you definitely don't want them here. They're sunk. So this is closed. Now there's very little difference between, okay, come back up here again if you would. Elbows to the hips, and now close your rib cage. Just on left and right. Just allow the rib cage to settle rather than close. Just allow it to release, to relax. And now my wrists are going to be lower than my elbows. Not massively. You can see there's not a lot of difference there, but they're not level like that. It's gone down. And my palms are flat, and people very often want to turn them inwards, I've noticed. Just keep them sunk. Keep them settled so the palms are flat and just slightly ahead of the body. Yeah. There's a gap here, definite space under the armpit. I see one or two people doing this. You're creating tension by doing that. It's not a natural position. Even when your hands are hanging by your sides, doing this, shoulders go up, all sorts of stuff. So here, and then we'll just quickly do the fifth position. Almost like you're rotating. Let the hand finish going down now. So back to here. Yeah, left and right. Leave your elbows where they are. Let your wrists now drop. Now relax the fingertips. Let them point at the floor ahead of you slightly to left and right. And now just let the whole thing rotate inwards until you're at this position here. About 45 degrees ahead of you approximately. Don't have to be too precise. And you do see people doing it further away and closer. So this is just a nice, a mean position, yeah? And that's it. That's all we need to look at on this. Good. So you can come out of that. And so really, I've just dealt with how you get out of 4 to 5 as well. So we've got the whole cycle there, but there's a few other things we do need to look at.